Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, Councilwoman Robinson, and staff. It's always good to come before you and to talk with you. I know we have a regular dialogue about the issues around housing.
All right,
Dude. Place where
All
we
right,
must provide
CEO.
That safety net for those
We're about
who
to talk about
cannot
the eviction.
be on their own and be able to find a place for housing. I do want to speak something about housing in general at large. That is, you all know that
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna take.
public
I want
housing
y'all to take a drink.
into a very specific
Take a shot
area
every time
along the
he name drops somebody.
and
He only been in the
it is
city
my goal
like a couple
as
years.
someone who grew up in public housing
I don't think it
to
been
make
2 years.
sure that
So he don't really
we're
know
providing
nobody for real.
opportunities, incentives for people in public housing to move out of public
God bless
housing and move to a place of self-sufficiency,
But yeah,
ownership,
listen to him.
and a little bit along that road of home ownership and what I call wealth creation. It is imperative. Why is it imperative? Because you see in the city of Richmond, and you see all across the country, we have these huge wait lists. And if we don't provide incentives and tools for public housing residents to move to a place of self-sufficiency, we will have wait lists on top of wait lists.
Yeah.
We have to
They're about
move
to purge
folks to
the wait list.
self-sufficiency because if not, when we do that, then we can bring those that truly need housing into that safety.
Those that truly need
I won't
housing.
talk about today, but I
Not these
made
people.
the FHA commissioned by the administration recently.
So he said the
Some
people
of
that
members,
truly need
including
housing,
Councilman Robinson,
get them
was
up in
there
here and
when we
get these
talked about
vagrants and miscreants out of here.
into home ownership, self-sufficiency,
Miscreant misfits.
and along wealth creation.
I looked those.
I do want to say though that
miscreant misfits.
on the subject matter here of eviction, I want to talk a little bit about which I think some folks may forget.
If you just joined us, take a shot every time he name drops somebody.
Ways in which RRHA
he about to talk about the compassion.
The compassion. Try to get
throughout the year. He's talking about
our residents pay their rent.
Happened before he was there.
I'll just quickly go through what you would see, what we typically do in a year's time. So if we start up in January,
typically,
we'll send out a press to our families to tell them, please pay your rent.
He's talking about during the pandemic.
We mail out letters to about 1,007 households, telling them, reminding you are behind on your rent, and to encourage them to set up meetings with our property manager to discuss their accounts.
The doors be closed.
Then we send out another event, what we call Current on Your Rent. It's another campaign. We do that also between January and February. We follow that up in February and March with another mass email to about 2,453 families, and telling them you're behind on your rent. Please come current on your rent. And in April, we'll send out another reminder. Same thing. This is what we did even last year, 2023.
Yeah, that's the only time.
About another 1,700 families who are in arrears.
The only time it happened.
Encouraging them to come into our office or contact RHA. Then, around May, June, we have what's called our Orange Card campaign.
Of 22.
In which we have our RHA property managers go door to door, canvassing the Big Six communities, delivering
he got to read it from his phone.
To our residents, telling them, please come pay your rent. We usually do that in June and July.
I can't remember how much it is.
Then we
make a year. I think it's like 177.
When we can't reach folks,
I feel like
during
it's over 150.
We send out our property managers on the weekend. And we have our property managers Saturday and Sunday.
You can do a record request for his contract too,
by
the way.
Residents
like
that
I
cannot
did.
Reach during the week.
And tell you how much you get paid.
Moving to August, we have a newsletter. We put out a newsletter
that
is our resident newsletter. Those who engage with that, telling them again, that is distributed door to door in all of our plans. Please come in contact to pay your rent. We get down into August. We have another 2-week. We work with the city ambassadors, who we all know very well, who are trusted advisors in the neighborhood. And we partner with them with our property manager. When we canvass, we go to door to door, door to door.
Yeah.
Which takes us all the way down into September. We sent out another 1,000.
Right,
I'm walking through this because it's really important. I want you to get a sense and a feel of what happens from January throughout the entire year. So we're down in September.
Yeah,
we found another 1,500 defendants, encouraging them to come out. That we, in fact, we will, when we get down towards like the fall, in October, we have also put a freeze on our eviction moratorium.
Yeah, they did that because we blasted that.
Repeat that again.
Because Legal Aid Justice Center, me and my comrades blasted that when they had 60 cases from Creighton Court on the docket in fall of 2019. That was when we made them put the
you get a sense of the real work that we do throughout the year. That's how compassionate, but that's our job. I want to say during COVID, what happened during COVID? You know what happened during COVID? We was compassionate. We were encouraged not to collect rent because we knew that families were having a particular hard time paying rent. So what did we do? We decided not to collect rent.
No, the federal government made the CARES Act.
But Washington, D.C. came knocking on our doors and said,
the federal government said during the pandemic, you can't evict people. That's what happened.
Violation.
It got tripping.
As a result of that, a lot of our compassionate efforts, we now today, so I want people to know how compassionate RRHA is. Now today, we have a balance, age receivable,
if you just joined
a balance of over $3 million on our balance sheet that we cannot, as it is.
If you just joined us, we're gonna take a shot every time he do a name drop.
Debt. You can't do what is called traditional finance methods. That $3 million sits on our balance sheet as a result of our compassion.
They're compassionate.
And we can't do anything with it. But it sits there and it's a reminder how compassionate we have been. Yes, I told our board that I've got to find some creative ways to take that balance, that debt off of our balance sheet. But it has to sit there until DC HUD says otherwise. I was meeting with our resident leaders over the last several months, the RTO, and they said to me, our leader, we all know who she is. I'm not going to invoke her name because I invoked it so many times.
Is he going to do it?
I thought he was going to we all know who she is. Leader of the RTO. She said to me, Mr. Nesmith, and all the RTOs said, Mr. Nesmith, you have an obligation to start collecting rent. I said, why? I said, well, that's what we do. She said, yeah, but we know you've got several million on your balance sheet. She didn't know the exact number. I'm going to invoke her name because I love her, Miss Marilyn Hills. And
there you go. There you go. There go one. Take a shot. Take a shot. Take a shot. Take a shot.
Collecting rent on a regular basis.
I'm drinking Pinot. I'm going to take a go.
You enabling bad behavior. Enabling bad behavior.
Enabling bad behavior.
We just can't do.
Oh.
I was with Marty Weinbright, who's the head of Legal Aid, and I said, Marty,
of Central Virginia Legal Aid Society. There's a sense in the public housing community, among whatever that percentage is, not Legal Aid Justice Center,
you don't have to pay your rent because HUD really is not going to come after you.
Look, name dropping my man Marty.
My colleagues don't come in and talk about where we are with evictions right now. But there is a sense in the public housing
the lawyer dude. That's my boy.
RRHA won't evict.
I was at his retirement party.
And you don't have to pay your rent. It's a fact. So I talked to Marty Weinberg, head of Legal Aid, and I said, Marty, we can show you balances where people have not paid their rent for 2 years. That's unsustainable.
And what did Marty say?
I said, will you stand with me? Because the RTO are telling me, Mr. Nesmith, you have to get the worst cases. The people just don't care.
What?
And you're going to have to evict them. I said, you want to stand there with me, Marty? He said, well, if you got people on the margins, no, I'm not. But if you can show me people that are just blatantly just saying, I'm not paying my rent. And we're going to see if we can find those cases because we cannot
And then what?
Be an enabling behavior.
Yeah,
I also
we don't
want to say
take, a lawyer don't take
more?
cases that are,
I want to say
don't have
that
a
I've
good
been
defense.
impressed.
Anyway, what are you talking about?
I'm going to mess up her name a little bit because it's a really wonderful name, Tracy DeSazu.
Tracy DeSazu. Oh, there you go, number 3.
I love the energy and that.
Number 3, baby. We 10 minutes in, baby. That's 3 shots.
Let's do something different around this. So when I was talking about some upcoming evictions, she said, "Come talk to me. Maybe there's." I know we got the mayor's eviction diversion program.
Yeah.
Cameras, Superintendent Cameras said, "Mr. Nesbitt, if you are going to evict families and they have children, talk to me first. I think there's some funding." My colleague's going to come up and talk about some limitations around that. But the point is that we are not just in our compassion place. We're not thinking in a vacuum among ourselves. We are partnering and thinking with others who are in this continuum of care. How can we find some additional funding to help our residents? I want to have my senior vice president for public housing and affordable housing come up and talk about some specific numbers as to where we are. But before she says something, I want to repeat something. It is very important that we are not enabling behavior.
Oh.
Telling folks that they can live for free. That is not what we're doing. We are income-based.
Shit. You can't be telling people housing is a human right.
And we have our regulators telling us what we can and we cannot.
Shit.
But I think it's important that we
can't tell them that housing is a human
right.
And
you know, I
Lord
can't tell you
Jesus, no.
How compassionate we are. We have been with
but we compassionate.
City Council.
We went to the City Council.
Vice Chair Newell, you've been with us. And Francis Lambert and others. We have gone door to door.
That's how compassionate we are.
Saying, we engage in repayment plans. So you've got a problem, you're hard to pay, get on that repayment.
We do a repayment plan.
The problem is people don't stay on those repayment plans. Then we got to start over.
That's the problem. That's the problem. The people still
we are out
act
there
like they don't have no money.
As we can to keep
and
people
the problem.
housed. And why is that in conclusion?
At the problem, we treat people good. That they only coming above that money.
Public housing residents housed until they get to a place of self-sufficiency. That's how we get revenue. That's how we generate revenue to do the things that we need to do to serve our population. So it's a disincentive for us from a revenue point of view to evict people. With that, let's talk some eviction.
Oh, that's so when they was leaving 200 units vacant in Creighton.
Good afternoon.
It was
Chair, Vice Chair, Councilwoman Robertson left. I have the unpleasure of providing information related to our lease enforcement. However, I'd like to definitely make a point of clarification as it relates to rent relief. I want to just be clear. RRHA never declined signing up for rent relief. In fact,
yes, they did.
We had 2 or 3 specific campaigns.
I ain't gonna say which
that we
politicians told
to go out in the community to sign up for rent relief.
Yeah, they did.
Our staff
took
weeks and many of their weekends to go out and meet families.
They could have submitted the application for the whole public housing at one time, and they didn't want to do it. That's what I heard. I mean, that's what I heard.
Over $1 million in rent relief. Yet we are still where we are today. And so as of March 12th, we actually have about 1,300 families who still have a balance of $51 or more. That amount equals approximately, again, $3.1 million. And so with that amount, while it is a decrease from February by 192 families, which is great, the concern for us is that we are encouraging families to go into repayment agreements, as Mr. Nesson said. But what we're having is, let's say we have 901 families on a repayment agreement, 312 have already defaulted. And so it is a great tool to get families current, but I'm not sure if it's effectiveness for families to stay current, because what it means is not only do you have to pay the repayment agreement, but you have to pay your current rent. So what we try and do is keep ensure that with the repayment agreement and the current rent, that it stays below the 40.
That's why I can't keep up.
Means it stretches the amount over several years, which it stays on our balance sheets. It's unfortunately uncollected until we get to that point where they're actually making the payments.
And so, Rena, I apologize for interrupting. Just for context, can you remind us what the annual income qualifications are
That's Stephanie Lynch.
Public housing?
So we look at the 80% AMI.
AMI, area median income.
Annual income. Are you saying for our current families now, or people coming into housing?
Well, that might be helpful to have those. So our current average annual income of a family who's living in a public housing unit. My understanding is that the majority of our residents in public housing now are paying that minimum. Like most of them have the minimum $70 a month payment, correct?
So the minimum is $50.
Or $50. I apologize, $50. So what does your income have to be a year to receive the $50 minimum payment?
So we're using those who may be unemployed and just maybe receiving contributions. So let's say you're only receiving $50 in contributions, $600 annually. You are required to at least pay $50. There's no one that's lower than the $50 in public housing. So we do have individuals who have income as low as $600 and as high as $90,000 annual income in public housing.
$90,000 and living in public housing. Y'all heard it.
$51 up to $1,790.
How many families would you say, just, I mean, if you don't have the data totally, I mean, when we're talking about a family unit, what's the average annual income if you're living in RRHA?
It depends because there's a lot of factors.
She went back
you could
to the
have
question.
someone with $600 annual income in one household. You can have someone with $12,000 income and it's two people in a household. So we have we can actually go from one individual up to 10.
I'm not the bad guy.
Rich income annually is about $12,000 per family. But in between, again, you can go up to as much as $90,000.
Oh, but somebody
so we have folks that obviously have families that have arrearages in the thousands of dollars, right? And we're talking about people that are living below the federal poverty line. How many people making $50,000? And also trying to
why is that? Why they still
clothe their children, feed their children,
questions you should be asking yourself.
Maybe if they're lucky enough to have extreme budget stretching for a household, right?
What's keeping them there?
How realistic is it that those families will be able to make payments on those arrearages? That 30% of the individuals who go into a repayment agreement default. And so for now, that's the only number and basis that I can use because that's fact. So is it realistic? It is, because again, when we sign up a family for a repayment agreement, we're still considering that 40% income threshold. And so, but the driving point is that they make the payment. So if you don't and you continue to miss payments, of course, your balances are continuing to increase. And so now you're at a point where you can, if you are not staying on top of not only making your regular payment, but your repayment agreement. But we are very careful in how we execute the repayment agreements and ensuring that we are not putting the families in a hardship. This is why we are adamant about getting it out, that repayment agreements are available. But you got to understand too, we have been offering repayment agreements for about 4 years now. And so many families who started or execute on a repayment agreement have already defaulted. And so now we're at the point where what other options will they have if they don't have a repayment agreement that they can go into for a $35,000 balance?
That's the question.
And I hear you on that, because how could you possibly on $12,000 or even $20,000 or $30,000 a year when you have a whole to support? Mm-hmm. So what you all are grappling with, and there is families who are already in a hardship, who are already in deep poverty, who quite frankly, I'm finding it very, very hard to believe that we will ever have a system that is going to work for those families if we are putting even $100 more a month into their household budget, how could we possibly expect for that not to have a deep impact on their quality of life? And I mean, there's only so much money coming into that household per month. And so what stands between public housing and street tents is very, very little.
I totally agree. I think
look at the street. The graphic was blowing me. I was just crazy.
Especially to Mr. Nesman's earlier point surrounding compassion and empathy, which I do believe in all of our efforts we have exhibited, because it's not our goal to anybody. We are housing. We are in the business to provide housing. But I think for clarity, we also want to understand that with the number of we have over 2,800 units leased, and over the last year, we've only filed 202 unlawful detainers through February. If that's not compassion, I don't know. And we know that this balance has continued to increase over the last few years. And so we try and work with our families through everything.
But they're still letting the money
it's not
gather
right,
and demand
our
it
doors
later.
are open. And we encourage families to come in and talk to us. And that's the biggest thing. We don't know what you need if you don't come in and tell us what it is that
if your office is not open.
We are partnering with individuals that
the residents can't
we're
get to you.
partnering with homework. We're partnering with home to try and see what additional resources may be available to help individual families. But as we know, many of these families have already received specific help. And so it's kind of difficult navigating what's currently available if you've already used up that resource that may have been available. And so this is the difficult position we're in right now, trying to figure out what's next for any family who may not be eligible for a repayment agreement, or there's no additional resources that they may be able to utilize.
They say something. That is, you're right. At the end of the day, look at the amount, look at the salary that these families have, and how can they pay, right? And so one of the things that my team and I've done is that we've done a couple things. One,
what y'all doing, big dog? Couple things.
And I'm looking at her name right now.
It's another one. There's another one.
Oh my gosh, she works for you.
She works for you.
No. Yes, Office of Community Wealth Building. Jane Pearson and Caprice. And what we're doing is putting together a free job training. At the end of that job training, specific jobs for individuals. Also,
if you just joined us, we taking a shot every time he do a name drop. That's the CEO of RRHA Public Housing. We taking a shot every time.
Free job training and federal dollars at the end of that job, real jobs. With the current salaries, you said, how can they make those payments? We got to begin focusing also on creating more jobs and job opportunities. My senior vice president, we've created our own job apprenticeship program that she worked.
When they had the kids.
You work on the weekends on that?
Washing
and so
spray painting,
power
what
washing
we're doing
is not just focusing
parking
on
lots and stuff, and
housing,
some
providing opportunity so we can increase, as you said, because how can they make those payments, right? And you said that you don't know if this
is what the kids was doing around the world.
We're also focusing on our young people
in the apprenticeship,
a new apprenticeship job we're having. So we're just helping out. And by the way, someone said to me, Mr. Nesman, I'm going to sign up and I'm going to get some of my buddies to
repainting the handicap
signs money
and stuff.
Then what am I going to do, right? I'm like, don't be afraid to graduate from public housing. We'll find some opportunities for you. But we are trying to focus on some job training and job opportunities.
Okay. And that is all. I'm glad that you all are focusing in on that. And you did not create the wealth disparities that exist in our country. You're just at the front lines of it at this moment. It's not bad behavior if someone does not pay their rent if they're making $12,000. It's not because people don't want to work.
Okay.
It's because they have 3, 4, 5 kids and there's no free childcare in this country. And if they do, they are lucky enough to get a job that pays $15 an hour. They lose SNAP. They lose TANF. They fall off the benefits cliff. And quite frankly, they fall off of your rolls as well.
Ouch.
And what salary at $32,000 a year can a working mom go find an affordable apartment in this city?
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere.
So you're it. You're the only setting that these who are living at or below the poverty line have. So does it make sense, and this is the question, does it make sense for us to be enforcing an arbitrary lease enforcement policy, knowing that we have all these systemic barriers facing these families? Is this their individual bad behavior because they didn't pay? Are we enabling bad behavior? No, I think what you all are fighting is you are on the front lines of a huge crisis in this country where we do not have a system of care for people in poverty, and particularly women of color in poverty with children. Okay? It's the government's job to redistribute wealth equitably when there is a complete counterbalance.
She had to redirect the narrative.
Right now, the way that I see it, you have $3 million on your books. That's budget fairy dust for most people in this city. Spend $1 million on consulting contracts. Some of the things that you guys are doing, you probably could pull out of your budget. You probably sell a parcel for $11 million and get $3 million to wipe all that debt clean. So what is that? What is equitable? In my mind, I cannot fathom the people that are living here, 112 families, or however, you've got, folks that were sitting in court this week who are now trying to think about, where am I going to go with my kids? And we're sending them back to the street kids. I mean, we cannot, I'm not putting this on your shoulders specifically to solve, but this is a problem for the city to come together and solve, because where are our families going to go? And oh, by the way, Mr. Cameras left, but we are on the eve of the SOLs. A lot of our students are, trying to graduate. They are, a lot of these kids who will be on the street are grappling with how to finish out the school year. How can we expect for kids to do well when they're thinking about, where is my mom and I, and where are we going to go tomorrow? That's the reality that many of our families are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And it's not bad behavior. People aren't not paying their rent because they just don't want to pay. No one in this country can live happily or well off of less than $45,000 a year anymore. It just doesn't exist. So, Councilmember Newell, anything you want to say?
I have already had a very preliminary conversation with Mr. Nesmith and Ms. Green at the front end of the meeting to address, and they are willing to come to the table to address both categories.
Oh yeah, she always been cool with
last week as well as on the road to get together to figure out how we ensure that families are not unhoused, but that it is a collective effort with us, with the city, with RRHA and other partners. So I already know that you stand ready to have those discussions because we had it at the front end.
Yes, ma'am. And I also say that a young lady came up moments ago and said about rent calculations. As CEO, one of the things that I'm authorizing is for us to go back and to re-review many of those rent calculations to ensure that we got it right. Some young lady said math. It shouldn't be an issue of math. It should be an issue of really. And so I'm authorizing as a way of not potential, that's the operative word, putting folks on the street to say, before we take that last step, because we know, as you said, the street, we know that the city, I think it was you and I were on the phone, there's no capacity. If we put them on the street, like you said to me on the phone, where are they going to go, right? I'm only, when I call something, I jokingly say,
the previous CEO said the foster care system got to take care of the kids.
Issues for the entire city.
That was the last CEO said.
So that's what we're going to go back and do a re-review of those rent calculations, see if we can pull some of those people out so they won't come back. Last,
name drop.
You said, does it make sense? And I agree with you, because it's a societal issue in terms of having a real living wage. We in addition to going back and doing some re-review, so maybe some of the folks won't go on the street. Ultimately, in terms of enforcing, we've done freeze on rent enforcement, right?
After legal aid justice and them. Oh, my comrades,
they got to make sure that HUD in Washington D.C., our regulator, doesn't get on our case. We just finished an audit, a HUD audit. In that HUD audit, it looked at a number of things. Are you in compliance? Right? And so if we don't, we do our best to say, you know what, we have to be compassionate. We'll put a moratorium. We have on enforcement.
We all made that shit happen with the lawyers.
We've also been mindful that we're not getting dinged by our regulators saying, you must do what you need to do. And so we do have a regulator in that regard, and that puts us in a difficult position.
And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Nesmith and Ms. Green, for your compassion and concern with their families. I do want to.
He wasn't even there when the stuff happened that he was talking about. Based on our conversation
earlier, those families that there was eviction, you've not taken possession, and so that will press pause there, correct?
You talked about those numbers. Can you just repeat for the public?
I did. So the families that you're referencing, we were awarded possession of the unit.
Right.
We have not
they went to court.
Eviction.
Right. Have not.
As of today.
Okay.
Right.
Fine.
And so
for the sheriff to come.
And we can get to the table right after this, but I mean, ideally to press pause work to address.
Don't file for the sheriff.
You know, that population, which is much smaller, and then of course we have the larger population that would really like to get to the table to make sure that we don't end up.
Don't send the sheriff to nobody's house on them evictions you already got judgment on.
So we can do that right after this, or that would be great. But certainly pressing pause on those that you could take possession. That gives us that opportunity and time to work through it. So that would at least reduce the pressure a little bit until we get to the full discussion on the rest.
Yeah, we got these SOLs coming up.
Would be acceptable.
So, Councilmember Newbold, is your ask to press pause on the 112 RHHA evictions that they're speaking to?
It's really
Councilmember Newbold, are you asking, I'm just point of clarification, are you asking RHHA to pause on all evictions until we have time?
So what I'm asking, we had people who went last week that you could take possession of the units.
That's right. That's
21 families. Okay, so I'm asking that we press pause on those families. And then we have the other 100 that we get to the table and then go through that and figure out how it is that we assist those families as well, so that we don't end up. So the more immediate were the ones who already went who, could end up. And so if we press pause there, that gives us the time to get to the table, to address them, but the rest of them. That's what I'm asking.
We'll set up, just as a follow-up, we'll set up a follow-up and give you a timeline.
Okay, so the 20-something though, we're just gonna stay. We're not taking possession of those.
It's your choice. So what Councilwoman Newbold is asking.
That's a lot of.
Yes.
That's my choice.
Yes.
That means my choice to get in trouble with DC or
yes.
My choice.
Yes. All of it.
Councilwoman, I'll go with you to DC. I'll go with you to DC.
Right.
Okay.
Look, I got your back.
No, you have to answer her question.
You gotta answer her question.
Pause on the eviction for those 21.
Put it on me.
Can we do it right?
You speaking to the microphone, sir?
I'm likely to do that. Let's
say it with your chest.
I am likely to do that.
I am likely.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Can we meet right after this meeting?
Oh my!
Yes, we can. I can change my schedule if you want to do that.
Yes, especially those families that are in jeopardy.
So he never.
I mean, the others we have some time to work through, but that 21 or 20 something.
Oh, he didn't even agree to
those families.
He didn't agree to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
He didn't agree tonight.
I'm a
21 families
yes,
out on the streets.
Can we meet? What I'm going, I'm gonna say yes. I'm not gonna say no.
Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Desmond. We appreciate it. All right. Thank you all so much. All right. Well, I think the only thing left.
Yeah. So we don't need to be too long. But live, that was interesting. I told you it was interesting. I mean, I'm used to it by now, but when then people make it seem like I'm the bad guy when I say stuff, when I just show people what's really going on out here, then they act like I'm the bad guy. You seen it. Oh, y'all can talk in the comments, talk amongst yourselves. I just wanted to bring the information to the people, for people to see what was going on. I think I'm gonna go look at the data, see how many people they evicted recently. How many people they got judgment on. Sometimes I don't stay as updated on it as I could be or whatever. And sometimes the data don't come through, but I don't remember seeing a substantial amount of. Actually, I don't know. I haven't seen a substantial amount of RRHA evictions recently, but I gotta say it probably been a few days since I've looked at the data, because I generally try to look at it pretty regularly, at least once a week. I'm trying to look at, how many, where they're coming from and who the top evictors, whether they public housing or private housing. I'm looking at, who the top evictors are, because, that's where we get the data over there at legal aid, But I haven't seen them filing too many. Like I mean, they said, back when they said, 220, they only filed 220 in the past, couple of years or a year or something like that. I think that's what she said. But I could see how that could be true, for real. People always think I'm beating up on the housing authority. They think I'm beating up on them. You know what I'm saying? I can, I can give them props right there. I don't really know why I don't know, I don't know what the reason for that is. I guess they was being cool. I don't know. But I feel Councilwoman Lynch when she's saying, like, y'all could go and sell a parcel, because RRHA is doing some big business moves. You know what I'm saying? Like they bought that building over there on 4th and Grace, where the pipes mysteriously burst out, like 9 days after they bought it. I ain't gonna get into all of that or whatever, but they bought that building. Then what they they moved their headquarters. They moved their headquarters from over there on Chamberlain, from 901 Chamberlain over there. Now they are on like 6th and Broad, right there where 6th Street Marketplace used to be. They right there. Like they got it's nice over there now. They got private parking and stuff. Their employees got reserved parking and everything, and parking deck and all of that. They chilling over there. You see, they got all them nice new vehicles. You know what I'm saying? So I know that. Well, I ain't gonna say I know. I feel like that money to pay for that stuff had to come from like some kind of like unrestricted funds. So I don't know, because that's not like regular operating expenses or nothing like that or whatever. Like all those new vehicles and stuff that they got in the past few years and stuff for the employees and stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't know. They got the whole floor rented out. Oh, I think it's a couple floors. No, I think maybe they got the whole of one floor. It's like the 4th floor or something over there. And then they got a piece of another floor, maybe like the 5th floor. Like, I can't remember. But yeah, so that's where they hold the commissioner meetings now. So remember when we back when they was doing the meetings on Chamberlain, we had to deal with the security guy coming, closing off the room and stuff, and telling people, oh, we had maximum capacity and stuff. We had to deal with him coming up there accosting us and stuff, for real. When we're at the board of commissioner meetings, like, somehow you can't take pictures in here. Why? And you looking across the room and it's like a reporter over there with a whole big camera, but this big I ain't even gonna describe him, but you know, he done moved up to the state level now. You know, but he did come up and I ain't gonna name drop. I ain't gonna do that. You feel me? But you know, he done moved up, but he did come and shut people out of the meeting. But anyway, now they don't have to deal with that because they got to hold the meetings over there in 6 and Broad Street, you know, up there. You know, who really, you know, you don't even feel comfortable. The community don't even feel comfortable going over there, like going up in one of them buildings. Like, it's like, you know, and that's where the head management office is now. It's not even, it used to be in the ward right there on Chamberlain by the highway. Everybody know that. I'm really just saying this for people that don't know. But yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, y'all talking in the comments. Did you tell me who talking in the comments? Oh, I see. Hold on. I'm not the bad guy. Hold on, let me look. Let me see. The solutions. This Councilwoman Lambert, y'all, on the live on the comments. All right. This for me, I'm all about empowerment of the residents. So I feel like there's one thing that we was telling people about was like the hardship exemptions and stuff, and it's other waivers of income that people like people who all of a sudden have their child's income being, you know, added to their rent and stuff like that, but it's all kinds of waivers. I don't know all of the laws, you know, on all of it. You know, I'm just saying this is one solution. This is just an idea that I had, you know. But there are all kinds of waivers, and for real, during COVID, it was other federal waivers that was there, but that RRHA didn't take. That I wish they could have, because they took on a bunch of other waivers that only really helped them or whatever. But I ain't gonna get into all that. See, that's way deep. But yeah, it's little. Like, you'd be surprised at the ways that RRHA be coming at people for money, man. Like, it's really just like so many tactics that's like just extracting wealth from the community. It really don't be that. It don't always be that people really don't have the money. Sometimes it's like there's ways that they can help people, you know, keep the money that they have. They be charging people. Yo, they gotta, like, for example, I'm just this off the top of my head. All right. They charge if the maintenance call is after hours and it ain't what they consider to be an emergency situation, then you have to pay. They're gonna charge you for the maintenance people coming out. And I know people that, you know, they didn't got charged for, you know, pipes bursting, you know, in the walls and stuff. Like they getting charged for pipes and water coming into the house and stuff. That's just one. I'm talking, it really goes deeper than that. Like, you've been there for 12 years and they charging you to replace blinds, these brittle ass blinds. Come on now, like, come on, like, you know, it's way deep. It's way deeper. But, you know, it's all kinds of like, so they only consider like the temperature outside gotta be under 30 degrees, gotta be 30 degrees or below for them to not charge you to come out and check on your heat when you don't have no heat. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, you know, it's just, you know, it really, and that's one thing, like, when I started getting into like legal aid, you know, that's one thing that I started noticing is that it really ain't, it's not that, oh, just these people poor, they can't afford the housing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, it's like all across the city, whether it's public or private housing, it's so much illegal stuff that these landlords are doing that's like just extracting wealth from the community. Like, you would be surprised. Like, I'm not even gonna name drop. But I'm gonna put you on game real quick. But all right, like, Legal Aid Justice Center sued a landlord. They was charging. It was like when when the landlord send you your late rent notice, when it's like 5 days after, we call it 5-day pay or quit notice. Like, boom, your rent late, you know what I'm saying? You got 5 days to pay it, you know what I'm saying? Well, we're gonna go take you to court, So they go take they send it to the tenant, and they send it to them, they show you the late fee, and then they also show you a $25 like administrative fee or whatever for sending it to you or something like that. Yo, where is this administrative fee coming from? Yo, so just imagine like if you got 400 units, or you got like, let's say a 200 unit apartment complex, right? And people are late, like half the people, 100 people are late, in 1 month. That's 200. What that is? That's 25 pieces. That's $2,500. You know what I'm saying? And that's 1 month. So if it happened over like 6 months, you know what I'm saying? What that is? 2,500 times 75, 30, 150, 150,000, right? 150 racks, ain't it? Yeah. Is it 150 racks? Did I do that right? I don't know. Dang, I'm on live. I need to get the math right? But you feel what I'm saying? But no, I seen crazy stuff. I saw I ain't even gonna say the name of this place. I just got put on to them last week, and it was a lot of this is in the county, and it's a lot of people that's from the city that like used to, well, I don't know how many, but when I was around there, the vibe was like, it's mad people here that used to live in Southside Richmond, you know what I'm saying, or used to live around Mosby or something like that, but they done got you know what I'm saying, they moved over here or whatever, and it looked kind of nice or whatever, but it's out in the county. So the girl tell me after she go to court with the landlord, she like they come to me and they tell me, oh, it's a $25 attorney satisfaction fee. I said, what? What the fuck is that? An attorney satisfaction? What is that? How you coming to them? You coming to this person trying to get money out of them after they done been in court and paid off everything or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even if they ain't paid off, all of that was taken care of in court. What? And they just, it's so much crazy stuff that's going on, Oh, let me go back and check this comment. See, what you said? Hold on. I don't know. But yeah. I think, you said, which, shit. And I also asked, Councilwoman Lambert also asked, I'll just remember the story, but I ain't gonna name drop Councilwoman Lambert. But okay. I see your comment though. But yeah, no. Also, I don't think RRHA knows. You heard what Kenyatta said. She said it's some people making $90,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? They get minimum up to making $90,000 a year. How many people there are making $90,000 a year? How many people making $70,000, $60,000, $50,000? You know what I'm saying? And what is the reason that they still up in there? What's the demographics of that? So you can even understand, the problem that you're trying to attack. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just scratching the surface. Because like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, because you're not even, if you making 60, 70, 80, 90,000, what you gonna, you know what I'm saying? Is why you gonna risk, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna take the risk or whatever that come with, you know what I'm saying? It's some stuff that come with, you know what I mean? You gotta make some sacrifices, you know what I'm saying, for your family, for real. To be around that junk, for real. I'm just being 100. I'm being 100. Yeah. Oh man. Oh yes. Oh yeah. A bunch of people in man. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. My home, the father was paying like 18 or something like that. Yeah. Damn, I did name drop. Oh man, I did that twice. Oh, y'all got me. Damn, they got me. Oh man, he got me. I name dropped twice. Oh, I walked away from her because I was thinking I was I was holding my phone like I was talking on the phone. I walked away from the laptop. Yo, but yeah. So it's like, what's going on with that? What's going on? What's going on with the family self-sufficiency program? You'll hear him talk about, like, I don't know how many people in it right now, and how many people do they turn out? You know what I'm saying? And like, you should hail them success stories. You know what I'm saying? For real, like, for real. If you hear, man, you will see concrete stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, sometimes they show scholarships and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, that's tight. You know what I'm saying? That's sweet. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I don't know too much about the legal stuff with the maintenance or whatever. For real. But holler at me without. Oh, yeah. FaceTime. Oh, I keep on thinking. Yeah, families. Yeah. RRHA, the family. So they gonna brag about. Yo, oh, what happened? What I heard the other day, he said, they was, it was an email that went out. They was like, they opening up a new STEM lab. It's a third STEM lab they opening up. Yo, I was like, that is crazy. I sent that joint to my people, cause they always talk about we got the STEM lab around the Calhoun Center. For real. I was like, dead ass. I asked, but I don't know. It just something made me ask. I was like, what's a STEM lab, yo? You know what I'm saying? I already knew that the computer lab or whatever, it don't really be open to, in the Calhoun Center. They always come and talk about they have join the Calhoun Center and stuff. I already knew that that wasn't there or whatever. But I mean, like, people, it might be there. I don't know. But from what I understand, like, people don't really have access to it. It ain't like, oh, what is it? They said it's a joint in Wickham. Yeah. And I remember people coming to me with complaints about the one in Wickham, because they said, they was like picking and choosing which kids they allowed to come in there. It was like they didn't want, the certain type of kids, whatever, coming up in there. But it was like, the email said, they said, oh yeah, we opening up a third STEM lab or whatever. I was just like, yo, these cats are wild. It's just be funny at this point, It'd be funny at this point, for real. I don't be trying to, I don't know. It's just, they gonna just move the way they want to move. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But I don't know what else. What else? I'm not gonna stay on here longer than an hour. I don't know. Anybody I don't know if somebody has some questions or something. Hold on. Oh, this is on. I should look at my YouTube, because this is on YouTube too right now. I don't know. I think it's on Twitter too. But I don't. Hold on. Let me see if I can get my other phone. Calhoun Center. Training center. What's a STEM lab? For real, like, is that like they got the do they got a 3D printer and stuff in there or something like that? Like, and I'm trying to figure out, like, because I'm like, I guess that's sweet, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, if you getting folks in there, like, what they got, like, but you gotta have staff in there, I guess, to help folks with it. But what is that STEM lab? What is it? Because I heard it wasn't really. It was supposed to be a computer lab or something, right? Oh, all innovate. What does that mean? What does that mean? All innovate. What does that mean? Like, that's so vague. Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, I know I'm a little loose right now, but it's like, I swear, I got a college degree and I don't understand. What does that mean? All innovation stuff, like, and so it mean like a 3D printer and stuff like that, right? A 3D printer, and then what? The content creation. Okay, content creation. Oh, that's like you can record. Oh, like you. Oh yeah. I saw. I was in Charlotte, and it was like they was there showing people how to, like, make beats and stuff. and it was on the screen. They had it was in like a museum or something. I don't even know. They got a lot of culture stuff and show. Make money using innovating ideas. Yeah, I don't know. Probably need to. What it looked like, I don't even know. It looked like folks better learn what that AI talking about or something. I don't even know. But I think them youngins gonna get on that joint. Like, I don't know. If we want to talk about money. Like, I don't know. I really don't be on it, but I don't even know. AI about to change everything. But anyway, I don't know. That's all. But I guess if people hopping on right now, they don't even know what we're talking about. I don't know how that works. But I'm gonna sign up this thing. Yeah, I just wanted to show the people, show y'all what was going on. But y'all leave some, leave y'all comments, leave y'all our response to some of the stuff. All right, y'all, peace.